by and large, there are a few things that if you have not lived through, you'll have no context. It'll be like gibberish to you, but many of you have lived through quite a bit, right? And you may be searching for understanding of certain things. Please don't get too distracted by these conventional things that are happening, thinking that we're solely immersed in conventional happenings in these last days. They are going to abruptly change quickly, and but the spiritual component to things, when they begin to manifest.
I'm Minister Nectar. I'm a minister of Satan of the Satanic Temple. We, the Satanic Temple, are a recognized religion.
The toll the spiritual realm can take once it begins to manifest is enormous. Some of you guys who are listening to me, you're not thinking about that enough, how much of a toll it can take. Now, some of you have already been immersed into part of the spiritual realm, which has taken a great toll, right? We discussed a couple times about a binary system, right? Did you ever realize that with a return or with the close proximity of another system coming close to us, did you ever entertain that in this other system could be other elements you're going to have to deal with? Let me paint a picture for you. Can I do that? Okay, here we go. Revelation chapter 8. When he opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. And I saw 7 angels which stood before God. To them were given the 7 trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having the golden censer. It was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it up with the prayers of the saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. Angel took the censer and filled it with fire on the altar and cast it into the earth, and there were voices and thunders and lightnings and an earthquake. 7th angel, which had the 7th trumpet, prepared them to sound. The first angel sounded. There followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. That's a physical event. And a third part of the trees was burnt up. Listen, and all green grass was burnt up. Not some of it, all of it. Given the current weather patterns of not only the earth, but all throughout the solar system, if the weather continues like it is, we're not going to have grass anyway. Correct? But when this angel opens up, when he blows that first trumpet, and this happens, it burns up all the green grass. Hail, fire mingled with blood is cast to the earth, and all the green grass was burnt up. Just give me a bit of a timeline. Let me get to this other one. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain. Now he says, and as it were, that means something that looks like or something similar to a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. Now remember, John is seeing something here, and he sees something go into the sea. And a third part of the sea became blood. And a third part of the creatures which were in the sea who had life died, and a third part of the ships were destroyed. So this is one of those telltale things. If a third part of the ships are destroyed, and it's not talking about anything on the land, right? In a third part of those things which are in the sea that had life died from something impacting in the oceans, right? But it says specifically, the sea became as blood. And that's when the waters are poisoned by whatever fell over the waters. Now, if an object that is ice, and believe me, we're going to see a lot of these objects, giant ones, if they come into our atmosphere, they're going to explode. That's going to be an aerial explosion. They normally do not survive re-entry in their solid form. They're broken into a 100,000 feet vaporized. Because most of the ice out there is arsenic. Can you imagine 900 billion tons of arsenic? Listen, I'll say it again. 900 billion tons of arsenic. Exploding in the atmosphere and spreading all over the place. Landing on what? The water. Listen, when the third angel sounds, this great star that fell from heaven, burning as it were lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of waters. There is no description of anything that happens to the land. And then it goes on to say, and the name of the star is called Wormwood, and a third part of the waters became wormwood. Wormwood is bitterness, and a third part of the waters became bitter. Listen, and many men died of the waters. What did they die from? They died of the waters. How did they die from the water? Because they were made bitter. The waters were poisoned, and people died from drinking the poison water. So this great mountain, burning as it were lamp, affects the water, and an aerial explosion of one of those big ice balls, 900 million tons of ice exploding in the atmosphere, would disperse arsenic all over the earth. Just like tiny droplets of mist would fall to the earth, and it would be arsenic. And that arsenic would go right into the water. See, the most compelling thing here is you most certainly would have an aerial explosion from ice. And some of the big ones out there, I don't know, about the size of New York. And we got a few of those headed this direction, by the way. See, this other system that's coming into our system probably has an asteroid belt full of arsenic-bound debris in it. It's a junk system, you can call it. It's full of junk and trash. I'm going to go down to this trumpet. I'm going to show you guys this. It says, and the fourth angel sounded, and a third part of the sun was smitten, and a third part of the moon, and a third part of the stars. Now follow me on this. A third part of the sun was smitten. The sun is not some hardened golf ball where you can take a chunk out of it like that. If something were to remove a third of the materials of the sun would be 1/3 smaller than what it is, but it would still be round and spherical. Do you guys understand? It'll still be round, so no one would ever notice that a third part was missing. John is clear in what he gave us, if people would just pay attention to it. If something is parked in front of the earth, in between the sun, right? If something is in between the sun and us, then a third part of the moon you're not going to be able to see because that thing's going to be in the way. And a third part of the sun you're not going to be able to see because that thing's in the way. And a third part of the sky is going to be missing. And that day shone not for a third part of it. That means during the daytime, you could not see light for a third of the day because something was in the way. And the night was likewise. That means at night, a third part of the night was missing also. Something has come so close to earth that nothing goes back to normal. Something has parked itself right at our front door. Something is in the way of our view of the sky. And it is parked and it does not move. That's why a third part of the day and a third part of the night are missing. And as soon as it's parked, it says, and I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, woe, 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 unto the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices, of the trumpets, of the three angels which are yet to sound. But take notice, they don't sound until something is parked in front of the earth. And that's when the unbelievable takes place. This is a hush, hush subject. I'm sorry, there's no one who has a leaked document about this. There's no one who has anything about this and can keep. The only thing you can do with this is discern it. But there are folks who have gathered up warehouses of evidence dealing with this subject because, man, those elitists you guys talk about, they had to know what this was. And the majority of the money has been poured in to know exactly what this was. Because whatever this was is coming again. And it's right here in Revelation. Because it was also here before. And they will never tell you if something is going to hit the earth. Who would do that? Why in the world would they ever do that? But some of the findings they dig up even to this day. Right? Give a clue to it. If you find a clue to that, that's when they come and get you. You'll not hear anybody talking about that because they'll come and get you. They will shut your mouth.
This has been The Confidential Report. For even more stories like this one, make sure to subscribe to our channel today. And please show your support by clicking the like button on this video. For even more stories and news you deserve to know the truth about, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you for watching The Confidential Report.